All right, counterpunch boxing. What's up, YouTube? All right, I'm back. Okay, check it out. Look, what we do at the channel is basically I get all the good information and I kind of funnel it down into one video. So Canelo Alvarez had this open media workout, and I don't know if you guys ever actually been to one, but they get in the ring, they hit the mitts, they hit the heavy bag, and you got all these people taking pictures, asking questions, and then they'll do about maybe about an hour's worth of interviewing like after the media workout, open media workout, and really, and look, when I was, before I really did my boxing reporting or got into the whole media thing, I always wondered, I'm like, how do these guys get, how do they get this information? Like, how do they know that, how do they know he said this? And how do they, how do they know, right? And this is how they know. I mean, what they do, like, put it this way, any article you read on Google over the next 10, 11, 12 days, maybe 2 weeks will pretty much come directly from this press event in one way or the other. Okay, like you're gonna, like, say boxing scene, they're gonna put out an article that says, Oscar De La Hoya says Golovkin, dot dot dot, blah blah blah, but it all comes from this open media. So what I've done, and what I do on the channel, is I take all the good stuff and I pluck it out and I pass it on to you. So all the shit you're gonna read about in the next 2 weeks, I'm about to tell you right now. And that's what we do. So me as a boxing fan, I always wanted a channel that did that. It's like, just tell me what's going on, give me the update, and let's move on. There's no need to milk this information for the next 2 weeks, right? So, okay, but I mean, the two big, kind of, I guess, breaking stories, maybe three, would be number one, the size of Canelo. And he did say in an interview, and of course you're going to read tons of articles about that. He did say, he felt like a natural boxer, or he feels that he's at his natural weight as a boxer. Now, isn't that ironic? I mean, we look, all of us here, and anyone that has any kind of, snap to him, really, or knows anything about boxing, we've all said, Canelo drains these guys down, and then he comes in a light heavyweight, and he does. You can go back to even the Islandi Lara fight, when when Canelo would step on the scales, the unofficial scales, he came in at nearly light heavyweight. He came in at 171 for that fight on the unofficial scales, 171 pounds. So we all know Canelo has entered the ring at his natural weight, right? I mean, he definitely above middleweight. So, I would say he's at a minimum a natural middleweight. I mean, because I mean, you look at this picture here, and he looks like a normal middleweight, right? I mean, he looks even kind of big for a middleweight. He looks more like a light heavy, kind of like a blown up light heavyweight, really. But so and look, I mean, time always has a way of revealing the truth. Okay, so that's another thing I like about reporting on boxing. It's like everything that I usually say, usually I'm right, because I mean, I use good judgment and common sense. I mean, it doesn't take like a genius, but usually I'm right on this stuff. And I always said, Canelo is a natural middleweight or above. And then you had all these people, coming out of the woodworks like, oh, no, he struggles, and he's a light middleweight and a welterweight. And I'm just like, really, dude? I had one guy telling me he was a natural welterweight, and this was not long ago. So it's like these diehard Canelo fans, they'll do anything to protect them. But, like I said, the truth is coming out. And the truth is, he's been draining these guys down all the way back to 2013, after the Mayweather fight, the Angulo fight, the Irizarry Lara, James Kirkland, Cotto, all fighting at that Canelo 155-pound catchweight. The Cotto fight gets the WBC, vacates, right? And then Amir Khan, and by the way, I don't know if you guys knew this or not, but it was, who was it? Oh, the Angulo. During that fight, I mean, this proves my point right here. Okay, that was originally that was at light middleweight, 154, right? But Canelo couldn't make weight, so they renegotiated 1 pound, 155 pounds, and paid Angulo $100,000. So think about this: they paid Angulo $100,000 to add 1 pound light middleweight. So it went from 154 up to 155, and they paid the dude 100 grand. I mean, what does that tell you? He can't make that weight. Why? Because that's not his natural weight. So that's a lot of people, they don't know that he paid him 100 grand just, to renegotiate the contract for 1 pound. Okay. Same thing with Erislandy Lara, came in a light heavyweight. James Kirkland, I was there like from beginning to end, and I was there for the Lara fight, but in the Kirkland fight especially, came in heavy as hell. He looked huge in the Cotto fight. Same thing with Amir Khan. And then Liam Smith, he did make that 154 pound. He did make the light middleweight on that one, but from what I hear, rumor is like it nearly killed him. So really that's when he said, okay, it's not that he wanted to do this, it's that he couldn't do this anymore. Okay, so it's not like Canelo said, I want to be great and I want to move up. No, he's just getting older, and the wear and tear on his body, he can no longer do this. So that's why he's moving up now. Okay, so sorry, I get sidetracked, but let's get back to the funneling of information, what I'm here to do. I'm here to pass this on, especially that Oscar De La Hoya interview. Okay, so we'll start with that. And look, and I'll get into the whole Gennady Golovkin Canelo and tell you guys what's really going on here, because I know there's a lot of like speculation out there, and I think I know I've got it figured out. It's not hard to figure out, so I'll kind of go over that in a minute, but okay, the interview. All right. Now, there was, I don't know, man, probably, I'd say 30, 40 questions asked, and then, Oscar blabbling on, blah, 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 blah. But like I said, I've kind of plucked out the good stuff that took place to pass on. I mean, number one, something that was really kind of shocking to me was, a reporter asked Oscar De La Hoya about the catchweight, right? About the 164.5 pound catchweight. And he said, he goes, look, basically he said, we thought we could drain them down and walk right through them. We thought Canelo would walk right through them. And he's like, now he's like, we're stunned. We cannot believe how good Chavez looks. And, we hear like all these like scary tells, like, that he's training with like heavyweights and light heavyweights and cruiserweights and like knocking cruiserweights out and stuff like this. And, they've got some like heavy hitters in Chavez's camp. And Oscar is like, if he can handle their power, then, we don't know what Canelo can do to him, because Canelo's never been in there with a guy. And this was the look right here. Look, and look, the thing is, I've interviewed Oscar so many times, and he's that kind of guy. I don't know if you know anyone like this, but he's that kind of guy, when you ask him a question, like his face will immediately give you the real answer. You know what I mean? Oscar's just that kind of guy. Like, he cannot hide the truth. Like, he can't keep the truth off of his face. You know what I'm trying to say? Like, he's just one of those guys. So the guy was like, well, we heard we heard Chavez is like, just walking through these cruiserweights, and he just taking their best shots and blah blah, just going on like this, like I said, these scary tales about Chavez, and this is like the face you get right here, or this one, like this, oh shit, yeah, I kind of heard that too, yeah, kind of backfired face, right? So that was what was interesting to me, is like I said, that Oscar, he just admitted it. Like, yeah, we thought we were going to drain them down, and, Canelo was going to walk through them. That's exactly what he said. And then, like I said, he went on to talk about how, Chavez is sparring these guys that are, much bigger than, and stronger than Canelo. So obviously Chavez will be able to handle the power. So like any question that he had on his mind was about his own fighter, was about Canelo. So, I thought that was, really interesting. But then, of course, he's got to try to hype up his man there. And apparently Canelo is sparring with Shabransky. Now, I'll show you. I'm sure you guys know who that is, but in case you don't, I'll show you who that is here in a minute. He's sparring with light heavyweight. So, you know what? I'll show you right now. There's that face. My God, look at this picture, though. Like I said, the two big things coming out of the open media was the size of Canelo, and then Oscar De La Hoya just, how do you say it? Characteristically uncharacter-like for Oscar to uncharacter-like for Oscar, to admit these things. Usually he's like that fast-talking car salesman that won't admit shit. But here we go, right here. Shabransky. This is who Canelo is sparring with, and dude just lost the guy. This is how I say you'll know him. He just lost to Sullivan Barrera. But, and that's his only loss. Now, I thought it was kind of odd that, he had a fight coming up. January, February, March, April. January, February, March, April. April 20th. It's today, right? Isn't that today? April 20th? Yeah. But, 420 for all the potheads out there. But, yeah, so... anyway, Canelo's sparring with this dude. Now, this is what Angulo said during, I know this is kind of getting off, this is kind of off topic here, but he said, the truth is that I fought with Canelo, and I did not feel that he had that kind of a punch. So we know Angulo, he's a bigger dude, right? Maybe because Canelo is gaining weight, he has a bit more of an advantage in that area. But Chavez is a natural 168 pounder. He just has to take care of himself to get down to the catch weight, and rehydrate well. And then they said, Canelo should have called me to box, to spar with Canelo, but. That got me thinking, and then I started reading other things and listening to Oscar, and it got me thinking, Canelo's putting on all his weight, but we know he gasses out. I mean, even the Kirkland fight, I was there. I was ringside for the Kirkland fight. I'm talking the blood and the sweat and the tears were, spraying on me. I was right there. You can go back and watch it on HBO. I'm standing right there. And during that fight, and when I watched it on the replay on HBO, you couldn't really tell, but Canelo was breathing so damn hard. He'd go, I think he knocked him out, or he finished him off in the second or third round, I think. But during the 2 or 3 rounds that it did last, I mean, dude, it was like he could not catch his breath. He was so gassed out and just out of breath, and he was big in that fight, and he was really big. So, I'm wondering, if he's putting on all this weight, if they're doing it properly. I mean, with his cardio and the running and things like that. So, and we know Chavez, he's up at Big Bear, so immediately I think Chavez has the advantage because he's at Big Bear, and I think his cardio, his breathing, his stamina, is going to be a lot better. And I think Canelo just might gas out with all this weight. It's he might be, he might look good on his toe, be on his toes and everything first 2 or 3 rounds, but I think eventually he's going to gas out. And even Oscar admitted, he just said, for the first maybe 1, 2, 3 rounds, he's like, we really want to, it's going to be a feel out process. So like I said, Oscar's revealing a lot, so we know it's not like some Hagler Hearn shit. Canelo's not going to go out there and drop bombs in round 1. I mean, he already admitted that they want to make sure that they can handle the power from Chavez and kind of settle into a fight, like a mid-round fight, and then turn it up, but I don't know. I think if Chavez can drag him into the deep water, it'll be a good thing because this is Chavez. This is his natural weight. Well, on fight night, it'll be he'll be at his natural weight. Canelo won't. I mean, so is he going to be is he going to have lead feet and quicksand? I don't know. So, but anyway, okay. So yeah, Oscar talking about we came up with a catch weight because if we thought we could drain him down, then Canelo would walk right through him. And that's exactly what he said. He kept talking about Canelo walking through him. And, I thought that was really interesting. So, look, let me get to the Gennady Golovkin thing here. I'm reading my notes to make sure that I didn't miss anything. I wrote here David Lemieux with a big question mark next to it. So David Lemieux, a couple years back, I always thought because, David Lemieux is with Golden Boy, that it would just be an easy in-house matchup to make, and they would do it. And especially when David Lemieux didn't make weight, and then, I can't remember what fight that was. I think he was going to be on the undercard. But anyway, there's rumors out there that David Lemieux is going to be, the September fight for Canelo, right? Everyone's saying that, that they're going to basically here's the plan according to, the boxing fans. Pretty much, they're going to continue to duck Golovkin, and we're going to get Lemieux Canelo in September. And, basically Golovkin and Tom Loeffler and K2, they're just complete dumbasses for not taking the Billy Joe Saunders fight. And, they're just getting hoodwinked by Golden Boy Promotion, basically. So that's, but I don't know. I don't think I believe that now. Now I did say, and a lot of you guys are in the comments section talking about I keep changing my mind and my opinion. Well, the story's evolving. I've got to change my mind and my opinion. Okay, so, and I'm going to stick by what I said. I think they should have taken the Saunders fight, and just not worried about what Canelo and Golden Boy does. But now we're getting to that point, okay? And Oscar De La Hoya, when he was asked about the interviews, he said negotiations start the day after. So that was encouraging. It was. I know there's a lot of clickbait out there. Excuse me, God, my throat's getting dry. I know there's a lot of clickbait out there, talking about how, Canelo's going to duck Golovkin and no way it happens. But I don't know. I really don't know. I think, Oscar, to me, he seemed sincere. He said, yeah, negotiations will begin the day after Canelo Chavez. So we'll see. I mean, right now, that's where we're at. We'll see. But then again, we have rumor coming out that it's going to be David Lemieux and Canelo. And when the reporter just asked him, he said, you promised, even on ESPN, this reporter said, to Oscar De La Hoya, he's like, you promised that we would get Canelo Golovkin in September. Are you going to stand by that promise? And really, the main thing on his mind was, well, Canelo or Chavez might beat Canelo. So if he beats him, I don't know. That was really like his immediate response, the thing that he kind of was most worried about, I think. But then he said, well, we have to negotiate. As long as negotiations go well, then yes, Golovkin will be next in September. So let's just say Canelo gets through Chavez. But by the way, I am picking Chavez to win this fight. So, and I want to put that on record too, which I already have. I said it a long time ago. I think Chavez wins. I really do. And I think it's just another way to duck Golovkin. And, I think they're going to make a ton of money on it. This will probably be one of the biggest pay-per-views of the decade. I bet the only thing this will be the number 2. It'll be Manny Pacquiao Mayweather. And then it's going to be Canelo Chavez. Watch. This will be the number 2 pay-per-view of the decade. So, but yeah, he just said that, given that Canelo wins, then we're going to start negotiations immediately. So, and I would have to, and I got to think, I would have to, surely they wouldn't pass up on the Saunders fight unless they know something we don't know. This is kind of what I'm, hoping for or relying on, that Tom Loeffler, like, he cannot be this big of an idiot, right? Like, he's got to know something that we don't know. You know what I'm trying to say here? Like, why would they pass that up to become the undisputed champion? That's all they said for the past 2 or 3 years, that they want the belts, give me my belts, I want the belts, right? So I would hope that he's not that big of. There's, like I said, there's just something that we don't know. So I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna chill out on the whole, hitting the alarm button or whatever. I'm just gonna chill out on that, and I'm gonna go with negotiations will continue after the Canelo Chavez fight. So we'll see. And immediately after it, they're going to interview Canelo, right? So let's hope right after the Chavez fight, if Canelo wins, which I don't think he's going to, let's hope that Canelo, calls out Golovkin, okay? Excuse me. But wouldn't this be a twist? Wouldn't this be a twist if Chavez beats Canelo, and then we get Chavez Golovkin, and then Canelo fights Lemieux? So it's boxing; anything can happen. But yeah, like I said, I was shocked to hear Oscar say, we expected Canelo to walk right through him. That's exactly what he said. So I was like, man, talk about letting the cat out of the bag, right? And look, Canelo, in my opinion, he's never looked this good. And even like his skin tone, he just looks healthy, right? And he looks this way because it's his natural fucking weight. This is what I've been trying to tell you people out there. He is not a guy that needs a catch weight, okay? He is a middleweight plus. So, but look, I'll end it there. So, what do you guys think? and I'll make another video really getting into the details with the Canelo Golovkin thing, but basically that's it. I mean, I think everyone's kind of panicking over nothing, and I think the negotiations will continue after the Chavez fight. So, but by my theory, Canelo loses. So, that's my opinion, but we'll see. All right, guys, like, share, leave your comments below, and I'm going to give like some shout outs in my next video. I meant to do it in the beginning of this one, but I appreciate all the participation by you guys, especially there's like 8, 9, 10 guys that are constantly in the comments section, kind of battling it out with the other guys. And by the way, the channel really blew up over the weekend. My God, I got like, I don't know, it's maybe like 700 or 800 notifications. Like, so, let me get that off there. But anyway, I appreciate it, guys.